Well, although it doesn't look like it, I've actually gotten quite a bit done on this truck in the last 2 days. I pulled this cab back off, and I've had it off and laying up on its side, both sides, and doing some reinforcing under the rockers, under the doors. I got some metal welded in under there and got that stiffened up, so that's good now. And I've got the cab mounted on the frame now. I got all the gussets welded into my frame, and my cross members done. And that cab, I believe, is sitting. I think I'm going to drop the back down just a little because I want that gap between that steering box mount and the body. It's that gap's closed a little at the top, and that should be even all the way down. And then I think that'll look a little better. There's enough rake to that cab, almost with just the top. I mean, that top tapers down so nice that you don't need much rake on that cab. So I'm going to drop the back end down there. I've got washers in there, so I can take a couple out and adjust that down until I get it just ever so. And I got that rear end moved up where I wanted it, and that took a day. Can't believe it, but it did. I had to rebuild all the shackle mounts, and I pulled the springs off the front of that 61 Ford pickup, and they were shorter than the original springs on this truck, so that allowed me to move the rear end up where I wanted it. So now I'm almost back to the same wheelbase that it was originally, so it should steer okay. I was afraid it was almost a foot longer, and I was afraid the thing would plow in the corners and not steer very well. So now I've got my original wheelbase back. The steering angle should be correct. I'm going to bob some of the back end of that bed off so that it's the same amount behind the tire as there is in front of the tire. And then I'll slide that bed forward just a little and close that gap between the bed and the cab. But I want to drop that cab down before I do that, so make sure that the cab's in position, and because I can set that bed anywhere. Okay, I think that's about it. I have a steering wheel, and I built a cross member under this tranny to support the back of that T5, and I built that cross member so that I can take it out, because I want to be able to drop that tranny from the bottom if I ever want to. And so that's the only cross member that's not welded in. It's bolted in so I can take it out. Anyway, I think that's about it, but that's a lot. There's just a whole lot to do on one of these things, and it's all fun though. I'm going to start next time I get to work on it. I'm going to get that bed mounted in position and get it buttoned down, and then I can start working on my brakes or my pedals and master cylinder, and I think that's what's next on the list. So I don't have a fancy, bookkeeping system like RP where I can keep track of my list here and this stuff on the floor. I've thoroughly trashed my shop. I'll tell you what, that's okay. That's what it takes. She's going to ride kind of rough. That's alright. I like it rough. Thanks for watching.